Oh, hello. I didn't see you there. I'm just about to do a little unglamorous maintenance. So, optional Sass support. That's the name of the game tonight. And so our front end app is built with the Create React app, which is like a project skeleton builder. And it goes through great pains to kind of hide a lot of the configuration of a Webpack project. And so if you were building a Webpack project from scratch, it would be trivial to kind of hook into all the different loaders and stuff that you could normally plug in to do CSS precompilers like Sass. But yeah, apparently, if you wanna get this going with Create React app without ejecting, so basically rendering all of the configs and detaching you from the scaffold entirely, there are some steps that you can take. So the reason I want to do this is because I'm looking to integrate this project for React components wrapping the Foundation CSS framework. And this framework uses Sass, as does Foundation. So I want to get some hooks in there so that I can compile the Sass style sheets as a part of the regular build for the app itself. So yeah, I guess I'll just get started, and we'll just go down the list and try to follow along with whatever they ask me to do. So just load this stuff up, I guess. Oh, come on. I'm gonna, changing my mind. I'm not gonna do this in CMD. So npm install. Actually, I'm going to do this as a dev dependency, not a regular. Okay, node Sass. I don't know what that is, but apparently there's a regular node Sass package which is less suitable because of performance issues, I think they say further down here. There are performance problems when you try to run it with a watch. So, okay, that all looked good, I guess. And now they want me to adjust my my package.json. So let's look at that. So as a part of scripts, this is going to take some cleanup. Okay. So what else are they saying? Oh, they're talking about using other CSS preprocessors. So I could plug in a different compiler name here, I guess, if I wanted to do stylus or less. And now what else? You can rename app.css to app.scss, which is the Sass version. I don't know why this whole thing won't wrap. That's annoying. Okay, well, I guess I'll write that. I'm actually gonna go ahead and quit the existing dev server that I have here. Okay. Well, I guess I'll do that just to see if it works. So they're saying that there's an app.css. I can change that to an SCSS, and then what? Right, app.js still imports the CSS file. So, oh, I see. So this is a way to basically regenerate the CSS files in the background. So you don't need to use the loaders, like the Webpack loaders. To share variables between Sass files, you can use Sass Imports. So, okay, that all works as expected. Include path. So if and when I incorporate Foundation, what I would do is I would add the path to the Sass sources in Foundation to the include path, and then I would import them, I guess. They're also recommending that that I ignore CSS files, which I think makes some good sense. Because theoretically those would be generated. And we can still add CSS files to the project, but we have to be explicit about it. Okay, and this is a good tip. As a final step, you may find it convenient to run watch CSS automatically when you run npm start, and build CSS when you run npm run build. Okay, so they've got another package for me, npm install -d npm run all. Let's see how this works. Okay, and so now they want me to override these script entry points. So let's see, we're replacing start and build, which are these two here. I'm just gonna do a little column selection to remove those pluses. Okay, so that means that when we run start to run the app, it's going to run watch CSS and start.js. Start.js is the old start, right? Yeah. And then build calls build CSS and then the old build. So we're just adding a little bit of indirection there. So what else? So this is where they talk about the performance issue that they have, I guess, in Docker and VMs. Node Sass, like the vanilla Node Sass, has problems. I don't know why, but I guess if I'm interested, we've got a couple issues that we can look at, which is great. Adding images, fonts, and files. Well, this all looks regular. So, I mean, as I understand it, if my style sheets link to an external asset and I'm importing my style sheet, the images should come with. Oh, so this is an entirely separate section. That's just explaining how Webpack works. Yeah. Okay. So maybe I'm done. So I'll check my diff real quick, and then I'm probably going to save this as a new branch, because I'm not certain this is how I want to go. I guess I should also. Oh wait, that's wrong. So the import is meant to stay the same. The import is meant to stay as the CSS file. So, oh yeah, I only have one branch. So I guess I will make a new Sass branch. Before I go any further, I want to just verify some of the work here. I want to make sure that when I run build CSS, my style sheet appears where it's meant to. So let's see if that actually works. Okay, that was quick. App CSS is there. Oh, look at that, and it shows up as like a little shadow file because it's interesting. Okay. Okay. So that was really easy. A lot of this information just seems to be trying to bring you up to speed with what Sass is and how it works, and how to mess with your script and entry points, which is cool, I guess. It'd be guys, hey, I can read everything. You mean on the web page? Well, that's good that you can read what's there. I'm glad, because that is part of why I'm doing this, so it's readable. Anyway, add Sass support to project. I'm pleased that that was as advertised. So yet another branch. I need a rust crab emote. Yeah, I do need a Ferris emote. That would be perfect. The quintessential rustation. But I don't have that. I'll work on that. I mean, there's got to be something, right? No, there's not even a lobster. What is this? That's a blob. I don't know what that is. Okay. So, the foundation stuff that I wanted to look at, I guess the thing that I need to know is what the name of the package is. And it's called React-Foundation. So we'll see how this works. Please excuse me crunching on some ice. It's hot in here. I gotta cool off with some ice crunch. Okay. So this project is the one that's super light on docs. They have some examples here, but mainly the examples are not great. Each of these links here link to the actual source. And I think stateless components, unit tested to ensure quality, blah, blah, blah. Well, I guess I'll start with a concrete thing that I need, right, which is tabs. And so why don't I just take some tabs and see if I can put them together. Do they talk about the style sheets at all here? I want to go look at the sources. Let's see. Let's see what they have in there. I don't see any style sheets in here at all. So maybe they expect me to pull them down myself. Huh. React Starter. I should also see if they like pull in Foundation itself as a dependency somehow. Looks like nope. Well, interesting. This is a list of keywords, I bet. Yep. So there is another React Foundation. Oh, Foundation sites. Okay. I don't see anything there. These are dev dependencies. Huh. So what I was saying is there's another React Foundation project, and deprecated, yeah. But it seemed to be pushing me towards using CSS modules, which I'm not particularly for or against. But I was hoping to just not have to worry about them. I'm surprised they just don't say anything about that. So it says SCSS right there, but let's look at the registry. So here's Foundation sites, right? And is this even official? Yeah, it seems to be. And so I could get this for the style sheets. Maybe that's all I need. Okay, well, we'll give it a shot. We'll call it a dev dependency, because in theory I would be producing a new style sheet by importing stuff from this style sheet. So Okay. And so there's a compiled CSS that I could lift immediately, but well, let's see if I can get the imports working. So I'm going to copy this path, and I'm going to go back to the package.json, and I'm going to adjust the what was it? Include dir. Include path. Okay. Having to redistribute my windows all the time. That's tough. All right. Okay, so that looks about right. We've got a relative path down into node modules, looking at foundation sites. Just add that in there for both watch CSS and build CSS. And then in my app, CSS file. Oh, which is already over here. I should be able to import foundation. I think. It's been a while since I used Sass, so I'm not sure how it differs from less, which is what I tend to rely on. So, oh. Well, let's see. This may spit out a bunch of warnings, or not. Node modules is like a terrifying place to visit. So when I open this up, I should see a bunch of foundation stuff in the resulting CSS file, and it looks like I do. So I pulled in foundation sites. Good. Okay. And I suppose that if I rerun my app now, Jesus Christ, so many windows. If I rerun my app the way that I normally would, I should continue to be able to make changes to my style sheets and have them update, right? So I should be able to say cornflower blue. Beautiful. I mean, also disgusting, but give me back that light sea green, boy. That's what I want. And if I comment this out, I wonder if there's any... I didn't see any difference, really. I'm just going to try and kill some windows because I'm steadily going crazy with all of these windows. Okay. All right. Well. I guess that'll do it. All right. So now that I have foundation, what else? I can try and do like I was saying. I can try and add tabs because I know that I need tabs to my app. And so if I look at the tabs source, that should tell me a little bit about how to use it. So it looks like I can import from source components tabs, maybe. First of all, source is great, but no, okay. I was just wondering if there was a lib directory with precompiled stuff, but it looks like no. I believe that that's the polite thing to do, but this maintainer decided that ES6 sources were good enough, so I guess that's fine. All right. So let's see. Package is called well. React Foundation source components tabs, and the component is actually called tabs, plural. And so I will drop some tabs in here. And what is this saying here? Unexpected token. Really? Really? Well, this is lame. Yeah, this is expecting, huh. See, that's weird though, because, oh yeah, this is totally compiled. So what do I do about this? Basically, stuff that I want to import should be pre-compiled because my my Babel setup isn't looking at compiling sources from other projects or something. May need an appropriate loader. So, I mean, I could republish a pre-compiled version of this. Like, I could fix it. But I wonder if there's another option. So yeah. I'm not sure. So this person's looking for styles. I wonder if we have the solution for them. Yeah, they're saying to just get to install foundation sites alongside this. Well, I guess before I go too much further, I'll look at the other project, because that's kind of a big red flag for me. They're only looking to cater to certain project setups. I think this is the other one that I saw. And this one also has had a little more regular activity, like new versions coming out more regularly. So, okay. React Foundation components. I'll just bring that in. And I'm just checking to see if, okay, so this one comes with its own SCSS. So I would theoretically remove that stuff. So I'm going to check my node modules again. See what we got in lib. And so yeah, the convention is that you have your compiled sources in lib. So these should all be ES5 compatible, and that looks like that's correct. Okay, good. So these guys have it together. Yeah. So I'm going to take this lib directory, and I'm going to update my package.json where I have that include path. And this Windows relative path thing is really, it doesn't work. So sorry, IntelliJ, drop the ball. Okay, so my import for Foundation, I believe, should still work. I don't know about the leading underscore. I think those are ignored when you're doing imports. If I remember correctly, that's a mechanism to control like recursion. Yeah, it's something about like which sources are meant to produce analogous compiled versions. So I would have an app.css which imports foundations, and the compiler would know not to produce a foundation CSS, but it would produce an app.css, something like that. And so, let's see, I guess I would be able to remove foundation sites, and where'd that other one go? Oh, I guess I installed it up here. Just remove this stuff from my node modules while I'm here. And so this project I don't think really had a whole lot in terms of docs either. Demos, docs, okay. Oh. I don't know. You want me to build a site for the docs? No, I don't want to do that. Okay. So this is literally just demos, but that's fine. Tab page. What is this made with? I don't know. I think this is the source for that example stuff that I was just looking at. I think that's what this is, right? Yeah. Okay. So with that all in place, let's see first of all if that CSS still works. It looks angry here. So I'll try like that. What did I do wrong? Here we go. This is really hard to read. Oh, file to import not found or readable. Foundation sites. Yeah. Well, so first of all, this is making me wonder if this tilde prefix still works. So I was under the impression that that was a thing that only worked when you were using Webpack loaders. Well, let's see. Maybe it just always works when you're doing Sass JS stuff. And this won't fix my problem, but yeah, it doesn't know. This looks different. No, I guess we need to prime it with the include path after all. Okay. So we're back to it looking for stuff in foundation sites, and I still don't know if this is actually going to work or not. But I'll reinstall foundation sites. And maybe I need to add that as well. think that tilde might just break it though. So what if I go back to just using foundation sites as is? Will that even work? Let's see what they say, because I know they talked about it a little bit. If you use the components under React Components lib global, you are responsible for loading the foundation CSS style sheet. Okay. And so if I'm responsible for it, right, so everything else must bring its own styles somehow, using the CSS module stuff. But this is all going to require messing with your Webpack config, which I don't want to do. So I'll try using the globals, and I'll try just adding foundation and not the components to my Sass path. Okay. And excuse me, so React Foundation Components lib global. And maybe I can click through here. No, well, the compiled source doesn't help me that much, but well, let's see if this compiles now. Sure. Okay. So back to the source. Yeah, that's interesting. Yep. So let's see. Looking at the source, because we don't really have docs, it seems like the tab we did have docs somewhere, right? Those example. Let's see. This is really not good in terms of documentation practice, but we'll make the best of it. So the way this is meant to go is you have a tabs with an on select and an active key. Yeah, this is actually kind of standard. Event key. I wonder how that works. Huh. Why is it event key? So if I move this stuff into my tabs and then wrap each one with a tab, I don't know if that's going to be sufficient or if I need to pass it more info. We need more info. We need a title. And I guess we need the key stuff too, huh? So what about the handle select? All right, well. Interesting, but I could really do this verbatim almost. Ugh. Oops. I forgot where I was there for a sec. What else I need to trigger this on the tabs on select. So this is the default key, I guess, and on select, so are we all wired up now? Almost. Unknown prop event key on div tag. Really? Did I put that on a div somewhere? Oh, so this should not be hard-coded. This should be state active key. I don't know why it's crying about this. Callback doesn't appear to be firing, but there it is. Okay, so the state change is happening. We got a string 2 in there. But then if I set this to 2, do I get the other list? Nope. I didn't think this was a thing either. I thought you had to set this.state in the constructor. Well, this doesn't look great. What a disappointment. So let's see. We've got a full example here. I'm just scanning to see if there's anything that maybe I'm missing. But nope. So let's go ahead and look at the open issues. This is always fun. So somebody's having some success with the tabs, I guess. Looks like a few of these are opened by the maintainer. These are just to-dos. But none of that seems that helpful. So, yeah, right. So these work. These are working. The global stuff, I don't know how they're producing that. But let's assume the only difference is how the styles are applied. So we've got some stuff here. I want to look at the DevTools on this example and see if there isn't some important piece of info that we can glean from the functional working version. So we've got event key, tab title, active, false, active switches, And so if I look at what we have here, despite the obvious difference that this stuff just isn't styling, what do I have? Got a tab title, okay. Well, that's different. This all looks different, right? Maybe that's just source maps, you know? Tabs, T, X. That could be all that is. That seems to line up. So what about the content? Maybe I need to wrap the content with something else. So let's go back to the docs. I mean, this looks like this is meant to cover the content. Yeah, I think that tab element is just meant to be the content. So maybe the only thing I'm missing is the styles. Maybe this is actually working. Because I do see active, false, and true alternating here for the content. Oops. So I'll go back to the top page and see where they talk about getting the styles. So the Zerb stuff is here. Is it? This seems a little light. That seems a lot light. Why do Okay. So let's take another look. Foundation sites. What do you have for me? Let's see if I can import foundation. Oops. From node modules, since the CSS loader appears to be working. So maybe I can even use the tilde notation. Nope. All right. So I'm gonna once again update the path that I'm throwing in here. What am I going to set this to? Oh, wait. That's not what I mean. I wish that this would work, because that would be awesome. Oh, it does. It does. Holy shit. Okay. Well, that's better. I don't want to have to mess with the include path every time I switch packages around. And so that works. And what we wanted was to do that, which didn't blow up. Well, this is new. Oh, look at this shit. Well, that's okay. So that's busted now, but what if I say SCSS for the extension here? Would that work? Oops, I must have, oh, there we go. All right, well, I guess that's what I'll focus on. So, you know, I'm experimenting with this stuff here because I want to try and get it working at work. Because we're looking for ways that we can basically share theme information across different applications. And so using a CSS preprocessor is going to be really helpful for that. So getting that to be a part of the build was one step. And so being able to import a base style sheet like this will help, but it would be better if I could get those Sass sources in there, because then we could customize. We can customize either way. Like we could produce a version of this foundation.css that looked the way we want it to as an organization. And that'd be fine, but I'd really just like to get it to compile. So this works, and that's good, but I want to give it another shot, because maybe I just missed something. I'm going to set the include path once again. I wonder if that really works, though. And so Broken. Totally broken. I get the header and then nothing else. Because, hold on. Yeah, I mean, these imports should work. These imports should work. So what if I do like a crazy relative import or something? This is kind of the worst, huh? So what if I do like that? What do I get in here now? Same stuff. No errors, but also I only get this header. Yeah, I don't know what to say. It'll make it difficult to customize certain things from site to site if we have to use a pre-built CSS. Again, I don't think it's the end of the world. I think it'll be okay. Having this set up, it's not going to be that bad. I just need to settle, is all that is. So yeah, what we'll do is we'll publish our foundation.css essentially. and then people can bring that in. And the colors, if they want to adjust the colors, they're going to have to not do that because it'll be rough. They'll be able to adjust things like you know, sizing and that kind of stuff. And having Sass as a part of their project will help in other ways. But I do need to see what the final output of this all looks like, because I'm a little concerned about that import. That'd work in dev, but for the real thing, I don't know. So, do I have Python here? Yes. Oops. So that means that I can go to build. Oops. Wow, that's kind of crazy. I guess I will install serve. I've never had to do this, but I've always just used Python. But I guess that's fine. Did I not just... Okay, well, I'm scared of these backslashes. All right, so we should have a static site running on port 5000 now. And so this is going to tell me if the style sheets break or not. They look good. Mostly. The reason the data isn't loading in is because when I use the default serving mechanism as provided by Create React App, we've got this reverse proxy built in, which is making it so that the backend service, the Rust service, is accessible from the same port that the client-side app is running on. So right now, they're different ports and they're not being mapped together. For the production build, the way that I'm going to fix that is I'm going to produce a build like this in the build directory, and then I'm going to copy it, or I'm going to read from it on the service end. So the Rust app is going to serve up this index.html, which will link to the other JavaScript and style sheet assets. And that should all work together in theory. Okay, well, that seems not too bad, all told. It's not working quite the way that I wanted it to, but it seems workable in some shape. Yeah. I guess I'll do run start and just check this all out briefly. This warning that we're getting, I guess that's just the library doing something they shouldn't for some reason. Right. So one of the nice things about the way that the switching mechanism works is I should be able to hook up my keyboard listener whenever I set that up and just basically call on select from that. So I should be able to wire this up to do what I wanted, like using the arrow keys to switch pages. And these appear to be updating how I wanted. What I'd really like is to have one of these tabs open on the initial load, and that doesn't appear to be happening here. So I'm going to go with my hunch and say that the initial state isn't being set correctly. So when you're doing class constructors like this, I guess you have to call super before you can touch this. So that's still not doing what I wanted, but oops. Well, huh. So we can see that the initial state is being set. And I can compare that to what we had before. Yeah, that looks like that is happening. My editor setup is super funky. Four spaces, they don't seem to be applying that correctly across the board. I don't know what's happening here. I really want 2 spaces. Everything's cockeyed. But okay. I think that's probably good enough for tonight. I'll play with this a little bit more. Let's look at where we ended up. So we added foundation sites. We added foundation components. We're bringing in the tabs into our app.js. We are setting some initial state to define which tab should be open. Doesn't appear to be working right. And we wrapped our two panes with tab elements, so those components are in there. And we imported a foundation CSS file into our app.scss. So that's taking advantage of the Sass compiler part that we added earlier. And despite the fact this isn't working quite right, it's progress. It's moving things forward. So wait, which way was it? React Foundation components. Yeah, I guess that about says it. Yeah, that's what I want to say. And I guess I'll merge this back into master, because this seems like the way forward, regardless. I'll clean up my my temporary branches there. So yeah, switching branches while you've got a watcher in play can sometimes mess up the Webpack dev server. So you often have to relaunch that stuff after you do something with your branches, switching branches. Yeah, so you'll notice that some of the styling isn't applying to the stuff that I had in here previously, and that's foundation in place. So we need to look a little bit at how they handle styles and how I do overrides for styles, I guess. Yeah, we'll get this all set up, and in fact, I may trade out these checkboxes for some kind of, like, what do we have? Let's look at their example app. So we've got a switch, yeah, something like this would probably replace the checkbox. It's got an on toggle, so that fits in with what we're already doing. It's using checked. So yeah, this is basically exactly the same. We just change it from an input component to a switch component. Actually, I wonder if I can do that right now. Huh. Switch panel label. Radio switch. Let's take the plunge while I'm looking at it here. So collectible item is the component. Do I need any labels? Probably not. On or off is probably all I care about here. Actually, hold on. Why are there so many different types? What is a paddle label? Let's see if we can decipher this a little bit. Paddle label, do you like me? I don't see where that's set. There's no tooltip or anything. Nope. Not gonna do it. I wonder if my data... My data item ID stuff may not flow through since we're wrapping the component like this. I may need to rework a little bit of that. And something that I could do is I could say that the toggle here will ultimately take the item itself. But that means that I would need to do something like add an arrow function inline here. It's a little more expensive to run. I guess I will just do it. I'll just do it. Oops. Because that's only a slight refactor. Okay, so we've got the initial state. That looks like that's working. Our callback is broken because we're returning an item instead of an event. That's good and bad. So the collectible group, nope, I need to go all the way to the top, to the collectible list. Technically, we won't need to get item details from the event anymore because we're getting an event directly. And so, let's see. So we're going to be receiving an item, and we're going to send in item ID and item.collected. The opposite of item.collected, I guess, is what we want. And yeah, I guess that pretty much works. And I'm still seeing these alternating response times. And so part of what I'm wondering is if this isn't something to do with SQLite. I don't know. I don't get it. 3339. That makes no sense, and there's no reason for us to have a 300 millisecond wait from a service like this. I mean, 30 milliseconds is even a little high. I don't know. It might actually not be our service at all. It could be the dev proxy. Yeah, there are some variables here. What I need to do is I need to basically get a production build of this app built, like I did there with run npm build, and then get the service serving up this index page with a static file handler. That's what I need. So that'll be what I do next. This seems like this is okay though. Need to work on the layout so I can get this stuff like inline. That'll be a thing. I wonder. Well, there's probably a whole lot of info on the foundation site about how to lay this stuff out. So I'll check that out, and maybe do a little bit of research on how to get the initial tab opened up. Yeah. Okay, good. So let's see. So we removed the checkbox that we worked so hard on yesterday, and replaced it with a switch component, which worked pretty similarly. But we had to refactor the callback just a little bit. It's actually pretty similar, but yeah, not a huge change. All right, that's it. I'm gonna quit for now. It was a good couple hours almost, so thanks for watching, and yeah, hopefully next time I'll switch to working on the production build stuff so that we can be sure there's nothing too crazy going on with the service, with the Rocket app. So that'll be nice to get back into the Rust side of things. And yeah, and up until then, I'll keep hacking on the foundation stuff and try and resolve some of these issues that I'm seeing right now. Initial tab and a little bit of layout stuff. Yeah, I'll work on that in my own time, off stream. But yeah, hopefully I'll see you next time. Thanks for joining.